Welcome to the Explainer. You ever see a brilliant idea just fizzle out? It happens all the time, right? Well, today we're diving into a concept that completely flips the script on innovation. Seriously, get ready to rethink where real game-changing ideas actually come from.
So let's just start with a quick reality check, okay? We are all on this insane, relentless treadmill, innovate, innovate, innovate. But here's the thought. What if the playbook everyone's using is just wrong, like fundamentally flawed? What if we're all sprinting as fast as we can, but in completely the wrong direction?
Okay, so to really get to the bottom of this, we first have to look at the world we're trying to innovate in. There's this term strategists use. It's called VUCA. That stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Or, in plain English, it's chaotic out there.
In all this chaos, it just puts us on the defensive, right? We end up in this constant reactive mode, always chasing the next trend, always scrambling just to keep our heads above water. It is an absolutely exhausting game of catch-up, and frankly, it's just crushing our creativity.
So what's the typical response to all this pressure? Well, most of us fall right into what our source material calls the market-driven trap. It's kind of the default setting for almost everyone, and believe me, it is a really dangerous place to be.
And wow, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? The two paths you can take. On one side, you've got that market-driven hamster wheel. You know the one. You're chasing trends, fighting tooth and nail for tiny scraps in a super crowded space, and you just burn out. But then there's this other path, a purpose-driven approach. This one's all about creating something authentic, something that actually lasts.
And right here, this quote really hits the nail on the head. When you're just chasing the market, you end up in this brutal race to the bottom. Suddenly, it's all about price wars, and that initial spark, that passion that got you started in the first place, it just gets completely lost in all the noise.
Okay, so if looking outside at the market is a trap, where on earth are we supposed to look for inspiration? The answer isn't out there. It's in here. We're about to dive into this incredible Japanese concept that might just change everything you think about creating something new. See, this is the core idea. The key to innovation that actually lasts isn't about more spreadsheets and market research. No, it's about self-discovery. It's about finding your ikigai, your reason for being. This, right here, is where the real magic is. So what is ikigai exactly? Think of it as your why. It's that sweet spot, that perfect intersection of four things. What you absolutely love, what you're really good at, what the world actually needs, and what you can get paid for. It is the literal fuel that gets you jumping out of bed in the morning, totally fired up to do what you do. But how do you find it? How do you find your ikigai? Well, our source suggests a really simple but kind of profound exercise. Think back. What were you passionate about when you were, say, 10 years old? Before the world started telling you what was practical or profitable. That pure, unfiltered joy, that's a huge clue to what really drives you. Okay, that sounds great, but let's be real. The world is loud. It's constantly screaming for our attention. So how are you supposed to hear that quiet inner voice? Well, it's time to learn how to tune out all that static and find your own internal frequency. And when we talk about things like Zen or mindfulness, forget all the stereotypes. This isn't about escaping the world and sitting on a mountaintop. Not at all. It's actually about engaging with the world on a much deeper level. Think of them as practical, hands-on tools for quieting the external chaos so you can finally hear what your own inner compass is trying to tell you. And it's not some mystical process. It's actually a pretty simple 3-step method to get that clarity. Step 1, you have to disconnect from all the external noise. Step 2, just observe what's going on inside, but without judging it. Just be curious. And step 3, reconnect with those core memories, those core emotions and passions. That's where you'll find the little seeds of your next big thing. So you see, what we're talking about here isn't just a new tactic or some business school trick. It is a fundamental shift in mindset. We're moving away from trying to manufacture ideas and toward discovering them. Because the most brilliant ideas, they're not out there. They're already inside you, just waiting to be dug up. And in today's world, in the age of AI, this is literally our superpower. Think about it. AI can optimize like crazy. It can analyze data and find efficiencies. But what can't it do? It can't originate. It can't create from a place of deep human passion and purpose. That right there is our ultimate competitive edge. So what does this all boil down to? What's the big takeaway? It's this. When you innovate from your purpose, from your ikigai, you're not just making a product or a service. You're putting a piece of yourself out into the world. And that sense of purpose, that's the resilience you need to get through the inevitable tough times. Your unique story isn't just a nice to have, it's your single greatest advantage.
So, we're going to leave you with one last question to chew on, and it's inspired by another great Japanese word, waku waku. It means that feeling of heart-pounding, genuine excitement. So ask yourself, what is the waku waku that's missing from what you do every day? Because whatever that is, that's probably where your next real breakthrough is hiding.